Today is the continuation of my college football, the college football preview show. Yesterday I did the ACC. If you want to go check that video out, go do it after this. But today I will do the Atlantic Coast Conference, the ACC, which is supposed to be down this year. I mean, you had a year where Virginia Tech started off slow, losing out against the Boise State and then to James Madison, which was unheard of. They won out. Uh, I mean, there was Miami predicted to be back. Whether U was back, but they didn't do anything. Uh, Tech struggled. Georgia Tech struggled. A lot of teams just struggled last season, and it's going to be a lot worse for the ACC this season because it's going to be harder because the Hokies are going to lose a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball and defensive. And it's going to be. I just think the ACC will be the fifth like out of the conferences at the end of the day, at the end of the year this year. The ACC will be in front of the Big East, but no one else. It's going to be, So I'm going to start with the divisions and how they'll play out. Starting starting with the Atlantic. Um, Sixth place is going to be the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. 5 years ago, Florida State went to the ACC title game and won the ACC, I believe. And then they lost to Louisville in the Orange Bowl. But I mean, um, they aren't very talented anymore. I say a 4-8 season next year for them. I think they'll get somebody. Somebody will overlook them and they'll get somebody. But other than that, the Demon Deacons fans don't have that much to look forward to next season. As another disappointing season probably lies in the wake. Um, I'm going to say fifth place is going to be the Boston College Eagles. Very impressive season last year for them. Um, uh, but I'm going to say 6-6 for them this year. Um, Boston College is always around there. They're always a winning ball club, and then they usually have a team that can do something. Yeah, Matt Ryan team. But I'm gonna say they go 6-6 this year. I think they'll make a bowl game, but I mean it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. They could easily go 5-7 or 4-8 like Wake Forest, I say. But it'll be interesting to see. I'm gonna say fourth place will be the Maryland Terrapins. Ralph Friesen is gone. That was just a very good, I think a very good season. I don't know why they got rid of Friesen. Friesen I thought was a very good coach. They had a good, solid quarterback. They had a good running back, and Darrell Scott. They got drafted, but it's going to be a drop off. I say 7-5 this year for the Terrapins. I think they'll be okay at best, but it'll be pretty tough for them to win games without Darrell Scott bringing in the rushing yards that he has the past couple of seasons. Third place in the Atlantic, I'm going to give it to the NC State Wolfpack. I think the Wolfpack, without Russell Wilson, they'll fall off a little bit, but with 8 returning starters on defense, they should be okay. 8-4, as I said again. People write them off because they're not going to have Russell Wilson, but I think even without Russell Wilson, their offense can thrive and even go 9-3 if I can actually see it with their schedule being that favorable. So now moving on to my surprise, I have Clemson finishing 9-3 and finishing second in the Atlantic. Many people think I'm wrong, but I think Clemson is moving in the right direction. Very good very good quarterback. Um, um, it's very good coaching too. They added a offensive coordinator from Tulsa this past season. I'm predicting a 9-3 season. I think people are wrong about Clemson rebuilding. I think Clemson will win their big games this year. I think they'll beat Auburn at home. I think they'll contend with Florida State, and that's who I'm thinking to win the Atlantic. That's Florida State. Florida State is going to be not this year. They'll still be a ball hawk on each side of the ball, even without Christian Ponder. But next season, they will be national championship contenders. But they should be the class of the ACC this year in the ACC Atlantic and be the date in the ACC title game. If things don't go according to plan, either Florida State or Clemson are winning the Atlantic for me. Moving on to the ACC Coastal Division. Sixth place, I'm going to go with the Duke Blue Devils. They really don't have anything to look forward to this year. Duke football has really never had anything to look forward to. Just it's going to be another tough season. I don't know when they'll get the recruits and when they'll get the coaching to get to back to a bowl game. It's going to be tough for them. But I mean, I think they'll find it one day, just not this year, this coming up year. I think fifth place, and I'm going to say Duke goes 3-9. Fifth place, I'm going to go with the Virginia Cavaliers. I think the Cavaliers will make a bowl game. They'll have them at 6-6. I think they'll improve drastically. I mean, they had a win over Miami last year, which was big for the program. I think they're improving on both sides of the ball. Um, I mean, they're going to have 15 returning starters too, so that's another key reason why I think that. But a 1-7 conference mark is not going to get it done next year. They got to do better in conference. That only one win was against Miami though, so that's got to be an improvement. Fourth place, I'm going to go with one of my teams, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Paul Johnson, he did an okay job there. I mean, the first season he won the ACC. Last year was a really big drop off to a 6-6 and a loss to Air Force in the bowl game. Um, but I think it's still over 7-5 season, 14 consecutive years there. But they'll be fighting. I say they'll be fighting to keep it alive. But I think they will at the end of the day, 7-5. And I think they can shock somebody. Give Georgia a run for their money at the end of the season in Athens. We'll see though. Moving on to third place, I'm going to go with the North Carolina Tar Heels. There is going to be a little bit of controversy. They went 8-5 last year when losing a bunch of suspended starters. They could have challenged for an ACC title last year, but they just took the NCAA took it away pretty much. On the field, off the field issues for them, and then more off the field issues could be hurting them this season. Could be bad. But I'm going to say another 8-4 season for the Tar Heels. I think they got held back last year with the off the field issues and everything. That opening game against LSU was close. They could have easily won that game. They did surprise a lot of people last year. They beat Florida State at Florida State. So there's not. I mean, they have upset potential in teams like that. But losing Tyler Yates, it'll be interesting to see how they do without him. Second place, I'm going to go with the Virginia Tech Hokies. I think the Hokies will go. I think it'll be a big drop off. Frank Beamer, he's done a great job there, but it'll be a big drop off from another ACC championship and a loss in the Orange Bowl. Tyrod Taylor gone, Darren Evans gone. It'll be interesting to see how they do it, but they will benefit. Virginia Tech does avoid FSU and NC State on their schedule next year, so but I say 9-3, 10-2 for them, and the second place finish, which leads me to my prediction of the coastal champion, the U. I think Al Golden could come in there and do a lot of things. Um, there's going to be a good quarterback battle. I mean, they can go with a 1-2 punch at the quarterback position with Corey Harris and Stephen Morris. They're going to still be good on the defensive side of the ball. Leonard Hankerson's going though. He was one of their best receivers, but they can still replace him. And the schedule for them it's tough. They make trips to Florida State, Tech, and North Carolina. But I think they'll win. The Tech game will be close. I think they'll decisively beat North Carolina and Florida State. That leads me to the prediction of the ACC title game between Miami and Florida State. Two great young coaches, Al Golden from Temple and Jimbo Fisher at Florida State. And I don't think it's going to be enough for Al Golden this first year. I think they'll beat them in the regular season, but I'm going to say Florida State wins the ACC next year and gets to the Orange Bowl because they just got so much. They're going to have so much talent on that team next season, and then they're going to have so much talent on the team the following season. But Florida State does have a couple games that could decide if they could contend for national title and how they get Big 12 powerhouse Oklahoma early in September. That should be a key game. If they can beat Oklahoma, they can contend for a national title even without those star recruits next season. That is my ACC preview for next season. Florida State defeats Miami in the ACC title game. If you disagree with anything or any of the standings that I posted, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel if you like the video. Follow me on Twitter, KyleLance11. I will update that. Tomorrow I will be doing the Pac-12. I will be previewing this upcoming season with Stanford, Oregon being reloaded, Arizona State, Arizona, USC still in operation, and I'll be doing that tomorrow. But until then, I'll have more videos possibly during the day. But until then, sign off. See ya.